Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, people. Welcome to the show. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So I thought today we should burn a few brain cells today. That's right. We're going to talk about how the Vatican created Islam. Why not? Literally, if people believe the earth is flat, I guarantee you there's going to be a group of people that believe this. And like, I knew it. I knew it. No, I must go and take drugs or something. I don't know. People are just not very smart to believe anything. So, without further ado, let's watch this AI generated garbage.
The astonishing story from the ex-Jesuit priest, Alberto Rivera, how the Vatican created Islam, which was told to him by Cardinal B, while he was at the Vatican.
That's it. So, yeah, Cardinal said it, so must be true. Forget about all historical, paperwork and historians and scholars, archaeologists. Nope. This is the real story.
After his conversion to Protestant Christianity, Alberto Rivera exposed what he was told by Cardinal B. And this story is excerpted from The Prophet, published by Chick Publications in California. Since its publication, after several unsuccessful attempts on his life, he died suddenly from food poisoning. But
oh man, he revealed the truth and was murdered for it. Oh man.
His story should not be silenced, as it is important to understand.
Very important.
Alberto Rivera went on to say, "What I'm going to tell you is what I learned in secret briefings in the Vatican when I was a Jesuit priest, under oath and induction. A Jesuit cardinal named Augustine B showed us how desperately the Roman Catholics wanted Jerusalem at the end of the 3rd century. Because of its religious history and its strategic location, the Holy City was considered a priceless treasure. A scheme had to be developed to make Jerusalem a Roman Catholic city. The great untapped source of manpower that could do this job was the children of Ishmael. The poor Arabs fell victim to one of the most clever plans ever devised by the powers of darkness. Early Christians went everywhere with the gospel, setting up small churches, but they met heavy opposition. Both the Jews and the Roman government persecuted the believers in Christ to stop their spread."
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. I mean, the Crusades was fake story, fake news, obviously, and it was just a clever ploy to create Islam that would actually protect the Jews for 800 years. Yeah.
But the Jews rebelled against Rome, and in 70 AD, Roman armies under General Titus smashed Jerusalem, and destroyed the great Jewish temple, which was the heart of Jewish worship. On this holy place, today where the temple once stood, the dome of the Rock Mosque stands as Islam's second most holy place. Sweeping changes were in the wind. Corruption, apathy, greed, cruelty, perversion and rebellion were eating at the Roman Empire, and it was ready to collapse.
It's still like that, and the whole West is still like that. What are you talking about?
Persecution against Christians was useless as they continued to lay down their lives for the gospel of Christ. The only way Satan could stop this thrust was to create a counterfeit Christian religion to...
So that's what it was. By going against everything, by telling everybody that he is the enemy, we should worship God alone, give to the poor, women should stay chaste. Wait, how is this a fake? Okay.
Destroy the work of God. The solution was in Rome. Their religion had come from ancient Babylon, and all it needed was a facelift. This didn't happen overnight, but began in the writings of the early church fathers. It was through their writings that a new religion would take shape. The statue of Jupiter in Rome was eventually called Saint Peter, and the statue of Venus was changed to the Virgin Mary. The site chosen for its headquarters was on one of the 7 hills called Vaticanus, the place of the divining serpent where the satanic temple of Janus stood. The great counterfeit
What?
religion was Roman Catholicism, called Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth, which we see in Revelation chapter 17 verse.
So they're gonna go. So, so Catholicism was the very first fake Christian one, and then from that they created Islam. What? Oh my gosh.
5. She was raised up to block the gospel, slaughter the believers in Christ, establish religions, create wars and make the nations drunk with the wine of her fornication, as we will see. 3 major religions have one thing in common: each has a holy place where they look for guidance. Roman Catholicism looks to the Vatican as a holy city. The Jews look to the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, and the Muslims look to Mecca as their holy city. Each group believes that they receive certain types of blessings for the rest of their lives for visiting their holy place. In the beginning, Arab visitors would bring gifts to the house of God, and the keepers of the Kaaba were gracious to all who came. Some brought their idols and, not wanting to offend these people, their idols were placed inside the sanctuary.
Oh, that's what it was. Right. Man, talk about a rewriting of history.
It is said that the Jews looked upon the Kaaba as an outlying tabernacle of the Lord with veneration until it became polluted with idols. In a tribal contention over a well, called Zamzam, the treasure of the Kaaba, and the offerings that pilgrims had given, were dumped down the well and it was filled with sand. It disappeared. Many years later Odab al-Muttalib was given visions telling him where to find the well and its treasure. He became the hero of Mecca, and he was destined to become the grandfather of Muhammad. Before this time, Augustine became the Bishop of North Africa, and was effective in winning Arabs to Roman Catholicism, including whole tribes. It was among these Arab converts to Catholicism that the concept of looking for an Arab prophet developed. Muhammad's father died from illness and sons born to great Arab families in places like Mecca were sent into the desert to be suckled and weaned and spend some of their childhood with Bedouin tribes for training and to avoid the plagues in the cities. After his mother and grandfather also died, Muhammad was with his uncle when a Roman Catholic monk learned of his identity and said, "Take your brother's son back to his country and guard him against the Jews, for by God, if they see him and know of him that which I know, they will construe evil against him. Great things are in store for this brother's son of yours." The Roman Catholic monk had fanned the flames for future Jewish persecutions at the hands of the followers of Muhammad. The Vatican desperately wanted Jerusalem because of its religious significance, but was blocked by the Jews. Another problem was the true Christians in North Africa who preached the gospel.
The true Christians, the gospel. But wait, which gospel though? Which one? The 4 gospels? I mean, did they call them the 4 gospels? How do we know that they were the true ones? Isn't that the same ones that the fake Christian Catholic Church has as well? Or do they have like a different gospel?
Roman Catholicism was growing in power, but would not tolerate opposition. Somehow the Vatican had to create a weapon to eliminate both the Jews and the true Christian believers who refused to accept Roman Catholicism. Looking to North Africa, they saw the multitudes of Arabs as a...
But are they talking about the Unitarians, the ones that don't believe in the Trinity, or did they? Was that after they slaughtered those? Which ones are they talking about?
Source of manpower to do their dirty work. Some Arabs had become Roman Catholic, and could be used in reporting information to leaders in Rome. Others were used in an underground spy network to carry out Rome's master plan to control the great multitudes of Arabs who rejected Catholicism. When St. Augustine appeared on the scene, he knew what was going on. His monasteries served as bases to seek out and destroy Bible manuscripts owned by the true Christians.
The true Christians again.
The Vatican wanted to create a Messiah for the Arabs, someone they could raise up as a great leader, a man with charisma whom they could train, and eventually unite all the non-Catholic Arabs behind him.
And so the fake Messiah that says that Jesus is the Messiah, did the true Christians believe that? They haven't spoken much about the true Christians. What kind of Bible do they have? Can we get some feedback here?
Creating a mighty army that would ultimately capture Jerusalem for the Pope. In the Vatican briefing, Cardinal B told us this story. A wealthy Arabian lady, who was a faithful follower of the Pope, played a tremendous part in this drama. She was a widow named Tiege. She gave her wealth to the church and retired to a convent, but was given an assignment. She was to find a brilliant young man who could be used by the Vatican to create a new religion, and become the Messiah for the children of Ishmael. Khadija had a cousin named Warqa, who was also a very faithful Roman Catholic, and the Vatican placed him in a...
Are we going to provide any type of, proof for any of this? Any at all? Any. We'll take any proof. God, I think I'm losing so many brain cells that I might not have any left after this.
Critical role as Muhammad's advisor. He had tremendous influence on Muhammad. Teachers were sent to young Muhammad and he had intensive training. Muhammad studied the word.
Really? This is like the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. This is just stupid. And of course, they're not actually showing any type of proof or even trying to show anything. But they were trying to take over. You know what? Let's see what the Jews think of this. Can we go see what the Jews think of this? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna see what the Jews think of this. Let's look at a rabbi. What the rabbi thinks of this. Hey Rabbi, what do you think about this?
It's one of the crazier ideas. And I just would say to you that whoever staked out such a claim, make sure never to study anything that person teaches, because there's nothing could be more ridiculous.
You sure? Because they seem pretty adamant about Catholicism created Islam not to take over to kill the Jews.
Islam is the Catholic Church's worst nightmare, because the most central text of the Islamic religion, the Quran, it rejects the fundamental tenets of Roman Catholic Church, of all of Christianity.
But remember, it's supposed to be take over, I don't know, and kill the real Christians. I mean, they were protecting Christians though. Islam did, and Jews. They were only fighting with the Roman Catholics. Wait a minute. I mean, that doesn't make any sense now.
For example, I mean, there's the Roman Catholic Church teaches fundamentally that Jesus was divine. He was the second person of a triune Godhead. The Quran contains many different messages and teachings and fundamental principles, but there is nothing that's more important. There's no message that's repeated more frequently than there is no God but the true God. La ilaha illallah. I mean, that's said in so many different ways that it's just over and over and over again. Never make that mistake. In fact, the Quran goes so far with regard to the Christianity, and in the 7th century, there was no Protestantism then. Doesn't make a difference. Anyways, because Protestants believe in Trinity.
Wait a minute, I thought that video said there was a true. So weren't the true Christians Protestant? I guess it weren't. What were they? Just true Christians. What? How do people believe this stuff? Like, are they not? I'm just not entirely sure how or why anybody would believe anything at all. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. People will latch on to anything, really, to be honest. Especially when there's something telling them that they shouldn't follow their desires and be good people and all that. I think that's just made people just like, no, I must do whatever I want. Oh, this is stupid. This is so stupid. People do their research. Actually, go out and look for research on it. Be careful going into the black hole of YouTube and quote just because it says what you wanted it to say doesn't mean that it's true. Some people that's all you. I know that's a lot of what just about everybody wants to do. They wants to something tell them, hey, yeah, go sin as much as you want. There's a YouTube video for it. I mean, I know that's what you want, but it's gotta be a point when you know you're a moron to even remotely think this is true. I think you internally know at this level you're just an idiot. Guys, let me know what you guys think about this. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let me know. Subscribe, comment, like, and share this video. We'll talk next time.